States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to approve the minutes of the
October 6th. November 6th.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as provided based on file.
I'll support. The move supported that the minutes of the November 6th Township Board meeting be placed on file. Treasurer's report, copies were given to you.
Correct. I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
Second.
The move supported that the treasurer's report be accepted and placed on file as presented. All in favor? Aye. None opposed? The Manistee Township Planning Commission meeting. We didn't get any minutes, did we?
Jack was putting some in. I didn't get them. I didn't get them.
Okay. I'll have to approve them next month. There was no appeal, correct?
Correct.
The correspondence in your packet, if you had a chance to review them.
I did get this from the Planning Commission, their
All the
meeting
dates.
schedule for next year.
That's fine. Anyone with anything to bring before the board? Okay. As far as reports are concerned, Carl, our county commissioner, do you have anything for us?
I do have a few things. Hi, everybody. Quite busy at the county boardroom. Earlier this week, we had a company start putting window tinting on the courthouse building. Two reasons. Initially, it was supposed to be for safety reasons, so that folks could not see inside the building during the daylight hours, while we could still see out. But we have come to find out that with these new window tintings, it's going to be quite energy efficient, and it should pay for itself in the first couple of years and also save money over the course of however long the window tinting lasts. I'm not exactly sure what the guarantee is on it. I believe it's over 10 years before any of it would have to be repaired in any way. So it should be quite a cost savings to the county, which is a nice thing. Public safety, quite a full docket. We have a few items for action to come before our next Public Safety Committee meeting. And while I'm on some of my reports, I want to talk a little bit about Bar Lake. I see a lot of folks from the Bar Lake Improvement Board, both riparians and some of the board members. As it was discussed at last month's township meeting that I was absent at, I was at another meeting I was responsible for being at. I was told that I would be receiving correspondence from the township regarding slowing down the process at Bar Lake, which I did receive in the mail, thank you very much, and we respectfully obliged that request to slow down. At our meeting on the 2nd, we had, actually it was a double hearing evening. We opened up with the hearing of practicability, and it was determined that improvement to Bar Lake to some degree was practical. We did not determine what exactly was going to be done or when it was going to be done, but we did determine that something was going to be done to Bar Lake. So we did, in fact, table any more activity on what was going to be done to repair the lake until spring. Our next meeting will be on March 3rd at 7 p.m. right here in this building. The second portion of that hearing evening was the hearing of assessment, and the hearing of assessment did get approved unanimously. I'll be posting in the newspaper in the next week all of those specifics that I just explained, and that'll give folks time to, if they want to contest that portion of the assessment, they're allowed to do. There's a time frame in which they can do that. but everything's moving forward as expected. But in respect to the township, we did in fact slow down. Gives people the next couple of months to ask whatever questions they want to ask, try to clear up anything that needed to be cleared up, and then we're going to move forward in the spring. So with that, any other questions for me? I'll be willing to stick around after this, and I can also be reached at via email or cell phone. So thank you.
Any questions for Carl? The guy find out had a previous obligation. He sent an email stating that Carl, you would be here. He said, John, you would be able to handle anything as far as the planning commission was concerned. Any news?
No, other than the dates. I think there was one date that got changed from the regular meeting.
July 1st and April 5th.
Right.
And those will be posted, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Publish that thing.
Yeah,
As for land use permits, there was one in November for an addition on Holden Street. And the complaint having to do with junk on Oakfield Street is being dealt with, but not yet complete. The property owner contacted him and asked for a bit of time. He agreed to allow that request. He says he'll stay on top of it and is working with the owner to get it cleared up. Along those same lines, Mr. Fineout asked that we, I guess we can do that now, can we? We can fill the unexpired term of Linda Fineout on the appeals board. Well, she's been asked to serve on the planning commission, and that leaves a vacancy on the appeals board. Mr. Jensen had talked with a couple gentlemen that were interested, one being Barry Elder, one being Dwayne Anderson. They both expressed interest in the position. What do you have any idea what you should do? If these gentlemen are willing, I think we should appoint someone and move on.
I see Mr. Anderson. I don't know Mr. Elder.
Well, Barry's,
Okay, but anyhow, Dwayne, interest, or I shouldn't say interest, because apparently he expressed interest to Jack.
Yes.
Would you like to fill the chair?
Chair.
no, you won't be the chairman, he just wants to know if you want to fill the space.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll get chairman go first meeting.
I'll make a motion to appoint Dwayne Anderson.
Okay, I'll support it. Any second? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Thank you, Mr. Anderson, for stepping forward. That's all from Guy. Fire Department, Chuck Barron.
Hello, everyone. For the month of November, we had 17 total runs, 11 medical, 6 fire, and 3 training sessions. Approximately 111 personnel hours for those runs. I had about 72 hours. Other officers had about 62 hours. We issued 4 burn permits for the month of November. For apparatus, we're still going to that new truck. It'll depend on finances. We're still looking at some different ideas, getting together and working on different things. The current truck's still in good working order right now. No major repairs, just some minor things we're still working on. That seems to be a constant with the equipment. Medical first responder that we did pick up, that's in service now. We got lettering on the side. We've been using it quite a bit. The station, we've had a lot of little things going on at the station. The plaque that we had replaced, and Jimmy Edmondson built a nice background for it. If you haven't seen it, try by there and check it out. It's a Maltese cross behind it. It's made out of stainless steel. It looks nice in the daytime and at night. Also, Jimmy worked on the hose drying rack when they brought that back and had to do some tweaks to it. Not sure how many hours he wouldn't tell me, but I'm sure he spent some time over there. So, still doing some minor adjustments to the building, like reconnecting the cable and stuff like that. The garage doors need to be adjusted. They got some playing and they're supposed to come check those out. The rear door latch was adjusted. The little door that was coming down the side, the strut was loose. They fixed that the other day. Got the electrical panel just updated. I just gotta put it on paper, so we gotta redo it. I did have a light added to the north side of the building because you couldn't see when you walked out. You know, I talked before about how you could click the car lights on your seat, so now that's up on there. That really, no one's tripping over themselves anymore out there. Also, the parking area was completed just a couple weeks ago during the snow. I was kind of surprised they did that, but it did turn out nice. The weather held out for them. Assistant Chief Tom Johnson's working on an additional base station for the corner of the building when you first come in. First estimate was pretty expensive, but again, we've looked at some local folks, Jimmy Edmondson, to build a rack for us, a mounting rack, and that turned out really nice, so we're still working on that. Also, Dan Revolt spent some time in the building, building those covers for the shrubs that we had. Quite a few. That took some time and energy for that. For equipment, we picked up some furniture, some nice meeting room chairs. Just the other day I found out about them, and we picked up about 30 nice chairs and some coffee maker and some other minor thing, magazine rack and stuff like that for the station. So the chairs were about $1 a piece, and they were pretty nice. If you get a chance to come over and check them out. We got those from the tribe, from their governmental building. They built a new one, so that should be coming out for public auction soon. So we were able to get some of that stuff. Also, hose drying racks, not the rack, but the storage racks. Jimmy Edmondson had built those. I don't know if I mentioned that last time. I didn't see that in my notes. Those turned out really nice. We did purchase some F5 some encapsulating agent. It comes in a pail like foam, but it's not foam. It's an encapsulating agent. It's kind of like the scrubbing bubbles. It grabs a hold of the fuel and stuff like that. It's primarily for the airport or fuel spills like that, but it can be used on A fires, B fires, so it's a multi-purpose. Under personnel, we have the vacant captain's position. We'll be looking to fill that next month. I want to sit down with our officers and go over the 2 people that are interested in that right now. We had 2 new applicants, Paul Massey and Lance Osborne, which will need to be approved by the board. We approved them at the last meeting. And we're still recruiting. We have a possible 2 more people maybe next month, but we'll see how that goes. For training, what we're working on right now, proficiency on all the apparatus. All the newer firefighters that we've had in the last, say, 6 months to a year are going through a probationary training program that we've set up. We set that up a year or 2 ago. We're trying to push that forward. We have 3 folks that will be attending the Firefighter 1 and 2 class starting this month, and it runs till May. And we also had fire officer classes that are going on. And we had one at the station the other day. The instructors really like the location, the ample parking, and the closeness to town and stuff like that. It's roomy in there. They like it. So, and the windows in there are nice too, with those lighting. And we also have 2 folks going to the fire officer classes. And the fire officer class and the firefighter 1 class, that's all part of that $1,000 that we pay the association. That's all funded through that. So. Under administrative stuff, we put in for a 50-50 grant for the DNR. We won't know about that until I checked on that until like the spring, late winter, early spring. We just put in a FEMA grant for 10 new SCBAs and face pieces. That was about close to $75,000. And we'll know about that probably in the spring. And I'd like to thank Connie and Frank both for working on that. Spent a lot of time on that. Revenue sharing, we did receive $11,500 for the RIT team equipment, and that was a joint venture with Eastlake. We've been doing training for what that is, a intervention team. It's a 2-in, 2-out rule. 2 firefighters go into the building. We have to have 2 people on the outside to go and get them. There's a team that we're building, and this was some of the equipment to get to outfit that team. We didn't get anything in it for the power grant. We kind of ran out of time. Tom, the assistant chief's working on about a $3,000 grant from the prison. Some other stuff we're working on. I met with a public safety director of the tribe. Sat down with him and just talked about working together more. We'll sit down later and work on that some more, but that went pretty well. I also went to the Brown Township board meeting last night. They were happy to see me. They had a couple questions you can work on later. Nothing major. And for those folks, the Santa train will be in Skronic. I think it's 6:40 Saturday night. And that will be from 5 to 8 o'clock p.m. over there. So it's Skronic Township Hall. And then we set a date for our Christmas party on the 11th. Board members will more than welcome to join us there. That's all I have. I can have more.
Thanks, Chuck.
Any questions?
Thank you. Liquor inspector, there's no significant changes. Oak Prison quarterly report, is there one, Carl?
No, there is not. They don't meet till next month.
Okay. The Revenue Sharing Board, the next meeting of the Revenue Sharing Board will be the 12th of February. That's the organizational meeting. Probably as you read in the paper, in November, the Revenue Sharing Board received $815,000 from the casino. Is there more issues with the Bar Lake Improvement Board?
No, I'm just wondering if anything has come from the questions that were raised about the original petition. Has anyone been looking into that? What's the status on those questions?
The only information that I have is I did talk to the township attorney about it. The township board created the Bar Lake Improvement Association because of the petitions, and we have no jurisdiction over those petitions other than certifying that the members that are on that petition are in fact residents or what do you call them? Riparian holders.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Larry Friedman, and the last meeting we were told we could have some questions answered by your attorney, and I have a list of the questions that
Okay.
turn in the meeting.
Okay. Well, under unfinished business, oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe I've got some of that. I was going to say that at the end, I'm going to sort of abbreviate my little dissertation tonight, but the question of the petition is still in keeping with the season. There's still a red flag on the field as far as I'm concerned. There's got to be further review. There's just too many inconsistencies, and that's the thing that started the whole procedure. On top of that, there are double signatures on there. People have signed for other people. You can definitely, somebody said you're going to have a handwriting expert to prove that. A duck is a duck. If it quacks, it's a duck. I mean, anybody can see that somebody wrote the same thing. People have signed for themselves and their wives. In addition to that, there are probably some non-riparian signatures on there, yeah. So this thing really has to be reviewed. The Oak Park Beach plat of 1912 platted the west end of Bar Lake of Piney Road. When they laid out those plats, when they laid out those lot sites, they created, in addition to along Lake Michigan, is Outlot A. Outlot B rests from Lakeshore Road clear up to Balsam Road on Piney. There's an outlot there. Those lots do not abut Bar Lake. And by legal right, in order to be a riparian owner, your property has to abut the lake, and it doesn't. It abuts that outlot. So that's another part of some review. Even the newer map that we got, the green one that we got from the Lake Science people, shows how those plots are laid out, but there is a strip right along the lake there that is Outlot B, and those properties do not abut Bar Lake, so they're not riparian, so any signature on those are not riparian owners. But, so I say there's a lot to be reviewed yet on that. What I wanted to do at the public hearing at the last time before, that was cut off very short. Before anybody had a chance to really gather their thoughts, a motion was made to close public comment at the last meeting. And then we moved into, let's get into the assessment. People got up at the assessment meeting and made comment that really wasn't related to the assessment, but, I had a dissertation I wanted to do, and I had time so I could do it in 3 minutes, but it didn't work. So, but I thought I had some viable alternatives, and one alternative I wanted to mention is what I call the Chief Lake Plan. They have a viable organization there as far as their improvement board is concerned, or their improvement association. Their improvement association handles things that are pertinent to improvements in Chief Lake. You don't have to be a member of the Improvements Association, but the Improvement Association takes care of these things. Now, in that respect, the members of the association pay for what they want done. They don't put the burden on people that are really don't care one way or another. And that would be an alternative here if we could just, I agree we got to pay the bills we got, but let's get out of this Part 309 business, which puts a burden on people that really don't have or don't want to. Because what we're looking at here primarily is a contest between people who have a commercial interest in the property and people who just want a place to live. I don't have rentals on the property. I'm not getting any money off of that. I didn't move up here just recently from downstate in order to buy some property that I might be able to invest in, so when I sell it, I can get a lot of money out of it. These are the kinds of things we seem to be up against, as opposed to people that just want a place to live. And we've lived there for 46 years, and I hate to have to move. But if this Chief Lake plan would work, let's put a twilight on this 3-year thing that we've got under Part 309 and call quits there and let the Bar Lake Improvement Association handle whatever they want to do with the lake at that point. But let's get people that don't want anything to do with it get out of their pocket. I think that's one of the main things we got to do. So anyway, that's what I'm saying. I think there's still questions relative to that petition that started this whole thing.
Have you had an opportunity to address the Bar Lake Improvement Board about your Chief Lake program or whatever?
No, I hadn't. I wanted to bring it up at our board meeting, but our public comment was cut off so short that I didn't get a chance to say anything I wanted to do. All of a sudden there was a motion. I move we do away
And
with
this is
public
what,
comment.
I apologize for my ignorance, but I'm just learning how to do all this stuff. And when you came to us at the last board meeting, I went to the township's attorney and asked the attorney, what's the chain of command, what's the, for lack of another term, this board cannot circumvent what the Bar Lake Improvement Association board does. We can't tell them that they're doing something wrong and you got to change it. We're not in that position. Now, that's what Richard told me.
The Bar Lake Improvement Board you're talking about, you can't circumvent, although you've established that board by resolution. Now they are
Resulted of petition.
now they're autonomous, and so they hold sway over. You're not the governmental body
You
anymore.
can't step in and say, no, you're not going to do this, you're going to do this instead.
Oh, okay.
We can't do that.
Well, you see, there's two ways to do away with the board, and that's to get 2/3 of petition on another petition to eliminate the improvement
That's
board,
correct.
which doesn't look like that's really feasible based on what we're seeing. But if the Bar Lake Improvement Association has that many people behind them, why not sign them all up as members and say, okay, we'll take care of it from there? And it's up to then the improvement board to say, okay, we're not going to go any further than this. But if they want to, under 30929, the governing body, and I'm assuming you folks are the governing body because it had to be established through a governing body to write the petition, or write the resolution. And according to House Roll Bill 4379, under Part 30929, the governing body of each local unit of government in which all and part of the lake is located hold public hearings and a proposed dissolution. Of your own volition, you could hold a public hearing to dissolve the board under Part 30929. There has to be a governing body. I mean, you can't just say, okay, now the Bar Lake Improvement Board right now is got a 1G rating, one step above God. I mean, there has to be some way to regulate the activities there, because Part 309 goes on and on forever, and that's what people can't seem to understand. They're saying, well, yeah, it doesn't cost much right now, $250 a year for 3 years, that isn't much. But what happens beyond 3 years,
I don't know, but I think that it has to be brought up again after 3 years, I believe. I think that 3 years is the limit on this portion or this phase.
Does that include
Is that
another?
correct?
Yeah.
Excuse me, go ahead. Is that correct?
It is correct, the assessment district is set up for 3 years with equal payments, and I can tell you that we haven't even entered into Part 309 yet. In fact, 309 has to do with the lake leveling portion, which that study hasn't even been done, and that's what we've halted on your request. Now that we've had some discussion, after looking at all the reports from Short Lake Sciences, the perimeter or the footprint of Bar Lake proper hasn't changed virtually at all in the past 75 years. But we still have discussions about the depth of the lake. That being said, the reason the depth has been fluctuating is because the sediment in the bottom of the lake has been coming up, not the top of the lake going down primarily. And that's why the lake level has adjusted. 309 has to do with the level of the lake. And if we were to enter into 309, then yes, the township then becomes a bigger partner, because we have to determine what the legal or normal lake level would be, and those words are synonymous. Once that's determined, it goes to court, and once that level is determined, then we have to make a decision as to whether or not guaranteed, but whether or not we wanted to try to maintain that. At that point, we wouldn't have to do anything. There's nothing that binds us by law that says once we determine what that level should be, that we actually have to do anything. Since Bar Lake is I believe, a tributary to Lake Michigan, I can't see the DNR or the DEQ or any governing body allowing us to put a structure of any magnitude on Bar Lake. So anything that we end up doing will end up being on a smaller scale. And again, we're not even to Part 309 yet. So at this point, we've slowed the process down to the point where these questions can be answered. Again, when the Bar Lake Improvement Board was formed, it became a board of action. As soon as it was verified at this level, it becomes a board of action, not a board of inaction. That's why we started to move forward. That's why we ended up gaining some steam. And out of respect, you asked us to slow down, and we've done that. It gives plenty of time for people to ask the questions, as I said. To disband the board, again, like Ann said, it would take a petition of 2/3 signatures. I don't know that a resolution by this board would actually be legal. That would be a question to ask the attorney. Maybe it's possible that the attorney could talk to a group of the riparians that are in opposition. And I'm not even hearing that the folks that are in opposition are truly against us doing something. They just want to know the scope and how deep and how long it's going to take to do that. And that's what we're hoping to be able to get through over these next couple of months of the winter before we get into any actual corrective measures.
I'd just like to read this letter that I got from the Department of Natural Resources when I wrote to them. I'll skim down here where it is. Permits for aquatic weed treatments, which is what they want to do to the lake, are issued or denied by the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, Water Resources Division. However, if a permit is applied for, there's a public comment period during which anyone can provide input and recommendations on whether to issue or deny a permit. If a permit is applied for, I would urge you to provide your input to MDEQ, including a recommendation for denial if that's how you feel. We have not studied Bar Lake in recent years, so it is difficult for me to specifically comment on the weed situation. In general, we are not particularly supportive of chemical treatments, although we do agree that in some situations they are appropriate. One trend we've noticed with chemical treatments is that once they begin on a lake, they typically have to be done every year or in most years after that. Hopefully the Lake Board is aware of this and realizes that once they start treating, they likely won't be able to stop. Under that scenario, funding is required to support the continued treatments. Chemical treatment can be very expensive long-term option. Fisheries Division typically is not supportive of lake level control structures, dams either. Usually our preference is to leave the water levels at natural levels, realizing that fluctuations will occur due to weather conditions and events. Lake level control structures are similar to weed treatments in that once the dam is built, it will require continuous maintenance year after year. Eventually, concrete will crack and steel will rust, requiring major expensive repairs. Ownership of a dam is very expensive, long-term issue. Hopefully the board realizes this. And then with that, I would like to add, in dealing with the improvement board and with the association has talked about how hard Marlene Walters and Charles Gans has worked in this effort, which is work that they created for themselves. The improvement board has said of how hard Jennifer and Mike have worked for our RLS in this endeavor. Well, Dan and I have worked hard for 48 years to keep our lives together. 46 of those of which have been spent on Bar Lake. I lost my page.
Did you bring all this forward at the Bar Lake Improvement meeting?
We have brought many things forward, and we're not getting far.
Public comment was cut off so short at the last meeting, we weren't able to get anything in. It was all of a sudden.
I think you need to, a lot of these things need to be resolved at the Bar Lake Improvement.
Well, the whole point is they don't get resolved because the board is a dictatorship. They tell us. We don't have a word in it. I mean, we have a word, but they have the ultimate ruling of our lives that we have kept together for 48 years. They now and our neighbors can come and say, well, you're going to put money into the muck of Bar Lake whether you like it or not. Too bad. Well, that's not right. That's a dictatorship. That's somebody telling me how I should run my life, how I should control my money in this situation, and that's not right. That's a dictatorship. This is still a free country where we should have freedom of choice, and we do not have that under this.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's been brought up about the petition in the past, and I want to let the board know that we went out and got the signatures. Each person on there signed. They signed individually. We didn't sign for them. We didn't take a signature for a spouse. They are authentic. And I'm tired of it. We worked hard. It took us a couple of years to get all those signatures, to track these people down. We did not fudge them. We did not cheat. We did it, and we worked hard to get it. And we got the 2/3. And that's the way our country works. You know, we go on the majority. I don't have kids in school anymore. I don't want to pay school taxes, but I do, because it's for the best of those children. And if it's the best for this lake, that's why we got the 2/3. And we don't always get what we want in life.
Okay. Hopefully everyone will work together.
Or I want to say one other thing. We're not commercial. We're property owners that just enjoy living there. And there's a lot of people like that too.
Anything else? Under unfinished business, excuse me, I'm very dry throat. The county farm drain?
Yeah, Tom Smith, Drain Commissioner. I brought the petitions today to change. We are going to combine the two drains together. We talked last month about it. We're going to call it the county farm drain. I brought the petition tonight to sign it, and I'll have any questions about it if you have. So,
This is just, thank you. This is just a reference to the names, is that correct?
yeah.
Well, as I was reading through it, it's got a lot more in it than just names. Whereas Manistee Township recognizes that it will be subject to assessment at large to pay for a percentage of the costs of the consolidated drain.
Yes. And what we're doing, I'm sorry, David Christian, DC Engineering, with the drain office. What we're doing with that petition, and I'll hand this to you here, this is the original petition that was received by the drain office in December of 2012. That petition there asks for three items. It asks to repair the broken pipe, it asks to add lands to the drainage district, and it asks to correct the flooding problem. That petition does not ask to consolidate the two drainage districts into a single drainage district, so that as opposed to trying to deal with the paperwork challenges in the drain office of having these two consecutive drains, that they operate as a single drainage district. So last month when we came in and talked, the goal here is to augment this petition to consolidate the two drains into one drainage district. Now this petition is a valid petition that we'll have to act upon if we don't consolidate the drains. We came to the township to consolidate the drains, make them one drain. We could rename it to the county farm drain. It always has operated as one system. Remember, the Cromer drain, 2 miles long, drains down and gets to 31, and then it becomes the McGinnis drain, a different legal public corporation, and that drains 2 miles down and then out by the hospital and ultimately down into the Manistee River.
Okay, we went through the name changes last month.
We went through the name changes.
Right. And now we have this petition here where there's a whole lot more to it than the name change.
Correct. I'm sorry, I did not mean to mislead you last month. The goal here last month
was to simplify it and save the office work by having one district rather than two.
And to do that, we need to re-petition the job. We have a valid petition signed by 5 freeholders in the drainage district.
To the Cromer drain.
Did I hand you the Cromer?
The Cromer drain with 7 signatures on it.
And here is the McGinnis drain, and the McGinnis drain is the one that we would act upon. We will not act upon the Cromer drain petition. And the reason we would not act upon the Cromer drain petition is that we will take under the McGinnis drain and we'll expand the McGinnis drain district out, and we'll absorb the Cromer drain. So the Cromer drain would always exist. It would always exist as kind of a sub-internal part of the McGinnis drain. But we have to expand the McGinnis drainage district out so that we can properly assess people. This all goes down to how do we manage the drain. None of what you're doing here tonight changes whether the pipe that has no bottom left in it needs to be repaired or not.
Well, sir, with all due respect, I'm as confused as you can get on this thing. One's a Cromer drain, one's a McGinnis drain, both with the same signatures on it.
Yes.
Both with only 7 signatures on it. There's only 7 people involved in that drain?
For a county drain project under Chapter 8, deepening, widening, or straightening of an existing county drain, you only need 5 signatures of freeholders in the drainage district. What that does for us is that gets us to what's called the Board of Determination meeting. The Board of Determination meeting, we have independently appointed board, which is going to come in and look at the situation and decide what has to be done to correct the problem. And then the county drain office, being an office of statutes, will abide by the direction of the Board of Determination. He doesn't really get any. The drain office doesn't have options in that regard. They follow the Board of Determination.
Well, I think you can understand the reason for cold feet here.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I've seen this now for 3 years.
All that had a war in Kettleville.
Yep, absolutely.
And we don't want to have that happen here.
Right, right.
And right on here is you're going to recognize that it will be subject to assessment at large.
Absolutely. What you have, you do understand that you have a very long 30-inch diameter pipe that runs under the county farm subdivision, and the pipe has no bottom on it. And when it rained in the spring of...
The 100-year rain, I know, I had water in my basement that same day.
You had water in your basement?
One time.
Yeah. And the water came out of the bottom of the pipe, blew sinkholes out alongside the road and whatever. Well, the pipe's going to fall down. The pipe's going to collapse.
Where is this pipe? Under houses? Under the road, right?
It goes, the northmost road would be Tubbs. The first or second house, if you go up Kemmer, turn in on Tubbs, or it's the second or northmost road, Brown, whichever one the second road is, you turn in on there, and it's like the first or second house on the right. There is one house that's
The structure itself is about 6 feet away from the pipe, 6 or 7 feet away from the pipe. They built within the county drain easement. Quite honestly, somebody missed the boat there, but they're built inside the easement. And then you have wells out there in it, and we have a couple septic fields that we have pulled records from the health department. The health department, and we have real good records of all the septic fields in that area. So yes, there will be. I'm sorry, there will be assessments on this. You've got a $300,000 fix or so on that pipe up there, and it is a legally established drain, and those the mechanism for paying for that type of infrastructure is the drainage district, road commissions.
Let me ask, what happens if we do not sign this?
Then
Just
we
like
move
this other
forward.
thing that the Bar Lake Association presented to us, that sign it, or if you don't sign it, we'll carry on anyhow.
Yeah, I don't want to be brash about it, but yes, because the drain office has received a valid petition. If the drain office does not proceed forward with this, he will be liable, which means the county at large will carry liability. If something happens out there, if something happens, and the county at large is aware of the problem, they've been petitioned under the law, they've done all of this stuff, and somebody gets hurt, there could be liability. So yes, the drain office is a creature of statute. He does not get to sit on the board of determination. He has to hold the board of determination.
Well, that happens every day with just living life.
Right. But it's a little different when you have knowledge of the problem. But
Well, I'm not in favor of jumping into this thing without learning some more about it, and getting some more questions answered. This is my opinion.
How can we find a way to sit down here and do that education so that you can understand and make your decision? Either way is fine.
David, I don't care. We can call a special meeting or something, or whatever. But we're not going to waste all these people's time trying to figure out what this is. This is all Greek to me.
Okay.
We're going to do it right, and we're not going to do it.
Okay.
That's my feeling. What do you feel?
Absolutely.
I would like to invite the people that are part of this drain, so that they're not sitting in the audience 3-4 months down the road, not understanding that it's going to cost them some money.
Right.
Bring Guy back in. We've had 2 public meetings. Everyone in the drainage district was sent notifications. They were held over at the high school. In town, I presented at both of those meetings.
I attended them.
You attended those meetings?
That was some time ago, and what happens, we are in the process of witnessing what happens here right now with the special assessment district, okay? Everything goes along fine until somebody gets slapped. Nobody has much interest in it until you get slapped with your assessment. And that's why it would be nice to educate the people as well as ourselves about this.
And that's the same reason why the drain office asked to form a committee, including somebody from the township, some residents from out there to help.
Which I believe guys can be
part of. That's right, you mentioned that. As part of the program here, so that we could have some involvement from the people, because nobody's interested in just arbitrarily going and spending a lot of money. Nobody here wants to give anybody a big assessment. But you have a real problem.
Well, and I guess what keeps ringing back in my mind is the fact that after the $300,000 fix, if in fact we have a rain like we had where the troubles originated from, we're still going to have those same problems because the $300,000 fix is not going to take care of the pipe.
That's right. The only reason you even know about the $300,000 fix is that the 100-year storm event took place and people started looking at things. Otherwise, that pipe would be undetected until it collapses.
Maybe we should worry about it in 90 years.
Well, how does the board want to approach this?
I think, like you said, Dennis, I think we should become a little more knowledgeable of what's going on. Last month, I was under the impression it was simply a name change. Now we get a 2 or a 3 page resolution here. Connie also had a good idea.
So then that's the avenue you want to take. You want to have, I don't know, would it be a public hearing? Is that what it would be? Or would it just be an informational meeting?
Just be informational.
Study session.
Okay. And we're going to include the people that are in this drainage district? We obviously know who they are. Your office knows who they are.
Yeah.
You know. And we're going to send them a letter asking them to, or advising them of the meeting. And when do you want to have the meeting? He's leaving the end of January.
So before then.
Yeah. Oh, yes, after the holidays, yes. Because it's going to take time to give everybody notice. Who's going to give these notices? Your office, Tom?
I think we can do that, yeah.
Okay.
We'll send them off.
Yep.
Okay.
You can schedule a high school again, they have the auditorium.
We can do it right here, it's all township residents.
Yeah, we might as well.
How many people are part of the
got it.
district? How many people fall inside that?
Several hundred,
285 to be exact.
285. That's a lot of people to invite here.
I don't think there were 285 people at the high school at either one of the meetings.
No, we probably had, what,
they're
40
probably
or
maybe,
45 people?
yeah, 45, 50 tops.
Well, that's what I say. You don't get everybody there until everybody gets spanked, and then they start squealing.
Oh, right.
Well, the letter stipulates that there could be an increase in taxes, or worded somehow to make them aware. Yeah, that'll do it. You know, I mean, seriously, let's get rid of the and let's circumvent anything that happens.
One of the reasons why we wanted to start the board, to start a committee, to be able to work with anybody that has a better idea or an idea to be able to save money.
Pick a date.
To make the project go better.
We will. I think we should, yes.
Thursday the 22nd. 23rd, I'm sorry, January.
Isn't that MTA?
They don't
It's on
meet
Wednesday.
They don't meet in January, do they?
Yeah, or February.
talking
March.
about the convention.
No. Well, I shouldn't say no.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's at the end of the month.
Okay. Just
Thursday the 16th.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be better.
The 16th.
What time?
7 o'clock.
7.
Check the high school, make sure.
Yeah, I'll check it.
isn't that township board meeting day?
No.
Thursday's the 16th?
Mm-hmm. What was it a second ago?
Still is.
Second night, yeah, 16th, okay.
Could be a time limit.
Gotta get here.
And you can't do it on Thursday, the 23rd, as an alternative?
No.
No, that would not work.
No.
We have an alternative date, if the high school or if that auditorium is not available, or an
Oh,
alternative.
we're not gonna do it here?
Or you want to do it here, you want to?
January
Okay.
9th.
We use the other room.
Yeah.
This particular.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
More or less.
Do the 16th.
Say it with the room.
January 9th would be our normal meeting. January 9th would be our normal meeting.
Yeah.
And we're going with the 16th.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Anything else, Tom? No. How's the website coming? Did we get that repaired, or we got?
No, I gave you bids to look at in there, your packets.
Did you look them over?
Well, they all make sense to me.
Okay.
May I make a suggestion on the website? Could you put a link
to my web page there so people can watch your meeting?
Sure. We probably could do that. I've talked to 3 different ones, it's a matter of making a decision, we're ready to make a decision.
So if you studied these, Joey, I would appreciate your recommendation, because it's all Greek to me.
Great to meet you.
Well, I have 2, one from Sarah Soloway and one from Lee Trucks.
And Sarah is with Mark Sandsted.
Yes.
They both seem very intelligent, seem to know what they're doing. Lee Trucks, frankly, was a little bit less expensive, I thought, but I don't know. I mean, that's just the beginning stage there that he's talking about.
What, do both satisfy what you require? Or all 3 with Joe Korzynski?
I'm not real familiar with doing that kind of work either. It's just maybe fun.
Well, based on what was given to us, the one from Jack Kine doesn't give a whole lot of detail as to, other than just the basics. The other one from Sarah is pretty detailed as to what she's going to do for us for $1,900, which is a lot less than the first bid we got, $36.
And what it details, is that adequate, Connie?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for, I would
Okay.
say. And it has the ability to build on it as we grow. And
Okay.
so if we do some things like the drain, we'll be able to put that in there. And sewer and water.
Are you guys putting a new website together, or are you just modifying your existing one, or?
Upgrading our existing one.
Because we had, from Stronach Township, we just went through all of this, creating a website and stuff, and we had Rob Carson's wife, Charity, do our website, and she is real knowledgeable, and she was relatively inexpensive for us. So, just so you know. I'm not really sure what your scope is and what you all are planning on doing, but she did ours from stem to stern, and we just, when we have a meeting or something, we pass the information on for her, she dumps it onto the website, and we really have very little to do with it, and it worked very well for us.
Well, in all fairness to these people, we asked for bids, and these are the bids that we received, and I think we should make a decision off of those bids, although that's good information for the future.
Well, I make a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
Make a motion to accept Sarah. I don't know how to pronounce her.
Soloway.
Thank you. At MS Creative Services.
I'll support that motion.
Been moved and supported that we accept a bid for the work presented on the emails from MSC Creative Services for, what was the total?
1,900.
1,900. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. Meeting dates? We looked over the
I
meeting?
have a thing from Mike Zimmerman, something more for the fire
Yeah,
department.
that'll be in it. Yes. I'd like to move the November meeting night to possibly the 5th.
Fine.
Well, look at your calendars, that's a Wednesday, I believe.
Wednesday should be fine with me.
To the 5th?
Yes.
What month was that?
November.
January.
November.
The numbers
For next year.
for next year, okay.
Dates.
We have to post the,
Oh, no, I
We
understand.
have to set our dates for the next year.
Any other conflicts throughout the year?
Not yet.
If not, we'll post the dates as we're going to change.
It's November 5th, Wednesday or something?
Yes,
It's a Wednesday.
it's a Wednesday.
We got a lot of time to get that straightened out.
No, the only ones
Oh, I'm sorry, I let the-
is the
Let the new reading come
Plan.
through. Okay. You wanna discuss that?
Proposal from McZerman Construction, putting on a ridge cap on a new fire hall. Bottom line on it is $2,112. If you got anything you wanna add to that, Chuck,
Just so people understand that was something that wasn't originally in the prints.
right, there's gable vents on it. I don't know if the gable vents are on it, are they? Anyhow, the gable vents would not vent adequately that much attic.
Because it has 3 separate partitions.
So this isn't cosmetic, it's what I need.
It's
Yeah, we need
function.
that.
It's function.
The original design was for vents on the end of the building, on the gable end of the building, but there's 3 fire breaks inside that attic, so the vents wouldn't do any good.
$2,100,
Yep.
so you're saying $2,000.
$112.
So we can go ahead with that?
You need a motion? I'll make a motion to have the ridge vent put on a new fire station.
Support. It's been moved and supported that we allocate the $2,100 for the ridge vent on the new fire station. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. None opposed? Mr. Solden, I apologize for waiting this long. I'd like to introduce Mr. Mark Solden. He's the new Manistee County Road Commission manager. Do you have anything to say?
Let me just make it quick.
Sure.
Yeah, basically, I'm just the new manager at the road commission. Basically, this is my second week on the job. So prior to coming here, I basically worked for a consultant in Bay City, Wade Trim, for about 29 years. And a lot of my background there was mostly like road and bridge design, and also work, inspection work on construction projects too. And then I served as the manager at the Gladwin County Road Commission for almost 7 years before coming here. So looking forward to working with the township and the citizens here. I know there's a lot going on here in Manistee County. It's a nice area. I haven't had a lot of time to explore yet, but with the big lake and the rivers and the town, it's real interesting part of the state. I'm originally from Hancock up in UP, so compared to living in Bay City and Gladwin County, it's a big change, and I really like the area, and I'm looking forward to working with everybody. So, any questions, complaints, just feel free to call the road commission, and we'll deal with it appropriately. So, thanks.
Thanks, sir. Oh, and I haven't found any tables yet.
Okay. We still under new business?
Sure.
I think it should be discussed with our deputy supervisor. He's been working feverishly and getting no more salary than what his trustee job is, and that doesn't pay a lot. If there's any discussion, I got an idea that I'd throw out. I think we could give him $300 a month for his added efforts.
Make another motion?
At this point, it's discussion. It's not enough or way too darn much.
Not enough. $100 a week.
Is that a motion? Is that a motion, second?
Well, maybe Claire's onto something.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
No, let's just wait and see what happens.
No.
Well, we've been waiting.
We've been waiting for so
What
long.
is the status of our supervisor?
Pardon?
What is the status of our supervisor?
Jack spoke with him
That for?
yesterday,
I think you ought to make that for.
and he's making progress, but not as fast as, of course, as he would like to.
I received a Christmas card on there.
Yeah. He can't come back to his home because he can't live by himself. He has to have someone help him. He's in assisted living. I talked to him about different things that I think are pertinent with the township. Other than that, I can't tell you. I don't know. You know, I'm not gonna ask him to step down or anything like that. That's not. I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna do that.
But it's been 7 months.
I know.
Well, after discussion, I'm gonna amend my motion to $400 a month instead of $3.
I'll support that.
Overruled.
It's been moved and supported that the deputy supervisor receive an additional $400 a month salary. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? You've got a copy of the bills. You had a chance to look the bills over.
Make a motion to allow the bills paid as presented and placed on file.
Support. It's been moved and supported that the bills be accepted, paid, placed on file. All in favor? Aye. Not opposed? Next meeting of the MTA is February 26th. Do they have a meeting in February? I didn't think they have one until March. Okay. The Township Planning Commission regular meeting will be Thursday, January, the first Thursday. Second? Meeting the second?
I'm sorry, Dennis, I was looking at this.
Next meeting of the Manistee Township Planning Commission will be Thursday, January 2nd.
Yes.
7 p.m.
Right.
Zoning Appeals Board, if there is one.
Will be the first Tuesday.
6th.
Is that, I believe that's correct. There's so seldom that we have a meeting, I forgot, Dennis.
Next regular board meeting of the Manistee Township Board will be Thursday, January 9th, 2014.
And
Does the Bar Lake Improvement Board have a meeting scheduled?
March 3rd,
On a Monday.
7 p.m. here.
It was all on your new agenda that
I know you're under aches and pains and stress, Dennis, but maybe we could talk just for a minute or two on the water and sewer that's
Okay.
happening.
That's fine.
Progressing here in the township. I don't know who knows anything or as much about it, but the tribe has offered to put in a sewer system for Manistee Township, basically from 22 to 55 for nothing. The township's obligation to that is to have a water supply for that. We've met with the city for plus or minus very close to a year, gotten basically nowhere. And now the tribe has told us that what will happen is their revenues for this sewer system will only be good up through 2014, and if nothing is done at that time, those dollars will be rerouted. The township is looking very, very, very seriously at putting in the water line as not to lose the sewer. So, from the township's point of view, we're getting 2 for 1, if you will. Actually, more than that, because the sewer line costs more than the water line. So that's just a little update. I might answer a couple questions if I can. Connie and Guy Binout and myself have been the ones that has been working on this. Go ahead, Eddie.
Is that line, the water line, would that be the tribe itself, that the township would pay for it from their water tower? Or would the township be responsible for drilling the wells?
No, the water will come from the tribe. Okay.
But the township would be liable for, or responsible for the installation of the water line, correct?
Not sure at this point in time. Okay? We might even work something with the tribe. That is a gray area right now.
Okay. I would just say.
But no, we will not drill wells and build a water tower.
Because doesn't the city have water wells all over the
Yes, that's why we've been working with the city for a year and can't get anywhere.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
I hear about that. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am?
I wanted to bring it up before the gentleman left with the petition, but I don't know how petitions are made up or regulated or whatever, but they really need to have a little more information on it than what they do. They don't really, like this drain that they're talking of $300,000. Is that anywhere on the petition for those people to know that when they're signing it?
That's why we're talking softly.
Right, I mean, these petitions are so weak when you sign them, and then all of a sudden you find out you're losing your home. That's ridiculous.
Anyone else?
As the CEO of the hospital, we support that project very much, and so does, yeah, the county, we 3 buildings right there, and we all support that project. So it'd be very beneficial.
I was wondering where you were. Now I know. Thank you.
Any board comment? The only comment I have is check your smoke detectors and have a happy holiday. Yes, sir.
Just approval of the 2 new firefighters, Paul Max and Lance Osborne.
Oh, you want that done tonight?
If you could, please.
Okay.
Because Lance will be taking the course starting in December.
The names are, again?
Paul Manistee and Lance Osborne.
Or what, cadets?
No, one is already firefighter qualified. The other one would be a new firefighter who's going to take the course starting December 14th this Saturday, the first day of class.
What was Paul's last name?
Manistee.
And he is medical, didn't he? And we need one in our department.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Any further discussion?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, no, wait a minute. All in favor?
Finish this.
All in favor? Aye.
Under any other public comment,
Sure.